Right, and we're live.
Excellent. Welcome everyone to the Infinity Wars stream.
Yes, welcome everybody. I have an interview today. How very exciting. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So my name is James Jones. I am the community manager and marketing coordinator for Lightmare Studios. We are an indie game development company based in Australia. We're gamers ourselves. We're simply striving to make the best possible game in the genre that so many of us love, the TCG game.
And what's a TCG game?
So TCGs are trading card games, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Plenty of people are familiar with their mobile counterparts, Rage of Bahamut, Shadow Era, things such as that. We're striving to make a quality product that retains the strategic feel of the games that so many of us grew up with.
All right. And yeah, tell me a little bit about what you're doing with the game then, and what's it all about?
Sure. Sure. So as of right now, Infinity Wars is basically the game that a lot of people have been searching for. A lot of people have been looking for, let's say, they're fans of Magic the Gathering, they're fans of Yu-Gi-Oh, they're fans of Pokemon, whatever TCG they might have been fans of, or they're simply aware of it. And you know, for so long, so many people have had to carry their cards around with them, take them to card shops, find friends to play against, things like that. And those are all tedious tasks. A lot of people have been looking for a game that gives them that intriguing, competitive feel of a trading card game, but on a mobile device. And that's, where we came about trying to create Infinity Wars, is we were in that position. We thought the exact same thing. So we realized that we could make the game ourselves, and that's what we ended up doing.
Right.
Is we wanted that kind of game. We're going to make it for the community. We're gamers ourselves, making a game just for people exactly like that. So Infinity Wars is a classic style strategic trading card game for PC, Mac, Android, and iOS. We want to give everyone the capability of enjoying that kind of a game wherever they are.
Right. Yeah. I accidentally joined another game like an idiot, and I can't seem to quit out. uh, should I restart the game?
Well, on the top left, you'll see a little gear wheel.
Ah,
That's your
right.
menu.
There we
Just
go.
hit quit game or concede.
Right, right. There we go. Yeah, so should we just open up a game and show everybody what it's about?
Absolutely. I'll host up a game for you, normal speed,
Sure.
and simply join up that game for me.
So,
And if it has any questions over there, simply relay them to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer their question.
yeah.
One of the fun things about this game, someone else decided to
Right, yeah, yeah. He was
join my
fun,
game, so
yeah.
let me make a quick statement for them.
That's fine. So, what platforms will this game be on exactly?
So as of right now, the beta client is available on PC and Mac. Within a few short weeks here, we'll have the finalized versions for Android and iOS. Mid-term, not immediately following launch, but certainly after launch, we'll be investigating what other platforms we can go on, such as Linux, PlayStation Network, Microsoft Store, things like that. But we also have an interesting offer from another Kickstarter development called Ouya. It's
Right.
an Android console meant for the home, using Android games, Android platforms on your TV. So we're investigating what we can do in terms of bringing Infinity Wars to as many different platforms as possible.
Right.
Okay, so my game should be up for you.
All right. Yeah, there you go.
Excellent.
And tell me a little bit about the business model of Infinity Wars.
Absolutely. So Infinity Wars is a free-to-play game, free to download, free to play. We've emulated a lot of what made other games very successful and very popular in the eyes of the community, where you can play the game for free, enjoy the game, grind points, to get cards, to get packs, to compete in the game. There's absolutely no forcing reason for you to pay money. We wanted to avoid that from the outset. So, in lieu of that, obviously there's going to be people, who want to pay to get their collection.
Yeah.
We do have the capability for people to purchase Lightmare points, which is
Right.
real money currency, in order to get booster packs, starter decks, skins, sleeves, avatars, promotional card art, alternate card art, everything such as that people would enjoy as far as personalizing their game. You absolutely can do that for yourselves. For people who do not wish to pay anything, of course, there's going to be people, who just want to grind.
Right.
There are PvE portions of the game where you can be a part of quests, campaigns, uh, in order to earn infinity points. Infinity points being the in-game currency. You can purchase booster packs just the same way as you would with Lightmare points. However, with the in-game currency, there's absolutely nothing stopping them from that.
Right.
So,
So, do you get an advantage if you use the pay currency? Can you get exclusive cards and do you get more
no,
powerful?
absolutely not. Whether you're buying a super booster pack with infinity points or Lightmare points, there's no change in what you're able to get. We wanted to make sure that everyone would be able to earn every card, regardless of how they're earning it. We don't want to give someone an advantage just because they're paying $500 to the game, and this person is sitting there grinding day in and day out, trying to get the exact same amount of cards. Yes, obviously we are a company. Revenue is important. However, the player base is more important. So we didn't want to exclude someone from competition just because they didn't want to pay any money.
All
If
right.
they're dedicated to the game, if you're going to really play, then absolutely. You have no disadvantage in what you're doing. We're not placing any restrictions on trading. We will have an auction house in game, whether it be buying or selling cards, or trading cards through the auction house. Doesn't matter.
All right.
You have absolute full capabilities to earn every card in the game, regardless of how you want to.
All right. Yeah, that's very nice. So, yeah, what other kind of things can you buy? Because I assume that there will be other things that you can pay money for.
Absolutely, and that's something I touched on in that same statement. We'll have avatars, skins, sleeves, promotional card art, alternate card art. It's one of the cool things we can do with a digital product. Is we see a card out there right now like your Flame Dawn aspirant.
Right.
Let's say
Can you
you
make the cards sparkle?
we won't have necessarily holographic cards like the physical counterparts have. But one cool thing we will be doing later on down the road is say you're in a bracket system, you're in one of our leagues, or you're being a part of the Lightmare hosted tournaments.
Right.
You may very well have the capability of earning an alternate card art for the
Right.
Flame Dawn Aspirant.
Right.
Something to personalize your deck, and when you go up against someone else in the game, they see that card, they immediately know how successful you have been in the tournament brackets. Not because the card is any more powerful than the other, but simply because of the fact that they're seeing that picture.
Right.
That's a big statement to other people. And something that we're doing right now with our beta client, starting early April, we're going to have the cutoff for beta access, as
All
it is right now, our current beta phase. Everyone currently in the game that has all their cards, all their collection, those cards are going to be transformed into platinum beta cards. And
Okay.
for anyone in this stream who is a fan of the TCG genre, I'm sure at some point you have met someone who's a collector. Regardless of the game that it is, they're a collector. They like getting as many cards as physically possible. So these people, oh, you're going to kill my Callie. That's not very nice. So these
Wait,
people,
no? Why didn't that happen?
oh,
Oh,
yeah, the way it works is Callie will only defend against one card.
oh, right.
Your defense zone, you're defending once against Callie. That card
Right,
died.
right, right, okay.
Paladin slammed on.
Right.
I just don't have the capability to heal her yet. You're too fast for me. So, in lieu of this, with the platinum beta cards, it's going to be a field day for collectors down the road, because what we're doing in let's say 8, 9, maybe 10 months time, factions will start dropping off. People who are familiar with
Right,
Magic, they're familiar with limited and Type 2 play. So with Type 2, you're able to use everything. You get any card in your collection, you make a deck for it, enjoy that deck.
right,
We're going to have something similar with Infinity Wars, but the Platinum Beta cards are going to have signifying card art, say a bright blue border on the
right,
card,
right,
signifying that they were part of the game pre-launch.
right.
And like I said, for anyone who's ever met a collector of these TCGs, they know that these collectors just have to have every possible variation of a card, every possible rare card art in the game, just for the sake of having it.
Right.
So these
So,
collectors are going to have a field day.
these special cards, like from the beta or winning tournaments and such, can you trade them or are they like bound to your
Yeah,
account?
no, you absolutely can trade them. They will have that kind of trading power and leverage where when you present them in the auction house or a trade, people are going to flock to you.
Right. Okay.
So absolutely, we want to make sure that you have as much trading leverage as possible, especially for being a part of the game this early. You're going to be able to, keep those cards in your collection for a little while, and then once the auction house is live, you know, post them up in the auction house and sell them for a ridiculous amount of cards, because people are going to say, "Wait, where did it get that blue border?"
Right.
And collectors will find you. Collectors will offer their firstborn son to get that card.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I got a question.
sure.
Will there are there other game modes like 2v2 or 3v3 or perhaps something like a Planeswalker from Magic, like different types of game modes?
Yeah, absolutely. We do want to have co-op modes later down the road. It's definitely something we intended early on, as well as alternate types of game modes like we have right now. We're currently testing two different ones. We will have more down the road. There's only two in there right now in this early phase of the beta. They're called Hyper and Epic. In normal gameplay, you have, let's say, 50 health and 50 morale. You gain one base resource each turn, and you draw one card each turn. So Hyper is two base resources each turn, two cards drawn every turn.
Right.
And, that's going to obviously increase the flow of the game
Yeah.
drastically, as well as, man, you are really messing with me. uh for anyone who's wondering, his deck is one of the strongest ones available, and it's ruining me. So
Christ.
the other one is Epic. It is 100 morale, 100 health, regular, single card drawn each turn, regular base resource drawn each turn. We're going to continue to expand on those capabilities every time we go into a release. That's why we have this beta. We absolutely want to give people the capability of being able to offer us those kinds of suggestions, because we were in the same boat you guys are, trying to find a game like this, and we want to make sure that you guys have the absolute capability to influence what we do here.
Right.
So
So,
we do absolutely love those suggestions.
right. So speaking of finding a game like this, how can people play this? Is there any way for them to sign up
Yeah,
or like get beta access?
yeah, absolutely. So right now, what people can do is if they go to infinitywarsgame.com, they'll find our main website. And what you'll be able to do from there is you'll be able to click on the Indiegogo button on the left-hand side. There's two options to be a part of our beta phase. The beta phase, as it is right now, is still very early. There's still so much of the game in development.
Right.
If you go to the Indiegogo button, you'll be able to investigate what we were able to do there as far as getting you beta access.
Right.
Beta access comes with a whole slew of rewards. So at a minimum, people must pledge the count level, which is $25. That comes with $25 worth of cards and packs,
Right.
starter deck, your very own avatar once the system is released, as well as beta access. So we certainly don't want people to think that we're asking them to pay for beta. You're paying for a significant amount of cards
Right.
that would be more than what you'd get for the Lightmare points worth of $25. So, it comes with rewards, it comes with cards, comes with beta access. For people who aren't able to do that, we do absolutely offer them the option of being able to state their email address in a very simple form at the top of our website.
Right.
Come early April, we'll be moving into the invitation-only beta phase of Infinity Wars,
All right.
and that will give everyone the option of being able to be a part of that phase of our beta for free. And they'll be able to get the game at that time. And that will include, as of right now, PC and Mac, and later down the road, mobile versions once they're available.
Okay. And how long will the beta go on, do you think?
So the
Like
beta is
when?
going to go on throughout the month of April. What we want to do is we want to make sure that the game is polished, completely ready before we release it. We don't want to make the mistake of releasing a game that's not entirely done. It certainly does have the capability of succeeding, but it's not what the players deserve.
Right.
So we want to make sure that it's absolutely 100% done before applying the word public to its release. We will absolutely have a public availability, but we want to make sure people understand that it is still in beta development.
Right.
Because there's still so much that we have to put in the game.
All right. So yeah, I can speak. What are the future plans? Like, how will you be supporting this game once it gets out of beta?
Sure. So what we will be looking at is, let's say, the capability to emulate tournament systems, bracket systems, league systems. We want to make sure that all of those are in place. We want to make sure that everyone has the absolute capability to enjoy the game, no matter what platform they're playing on.
Right.
Those are very important to us. As of right now, we're in the process of looking transitioning to server-side hosting from peer-to-peer.
Right.
That way we can implement the bracket, league, and tournament systems, because those are very important to a game like this. We're heavily influenced. I know a lot of people are going to hate us for this, but we're heavily influenced by the popular game League of Legends.
Right.
Not necessarily their gameplay, but their structure. Anyone can go in there and grind. You can grind out the skins. You can grind out the heroes. That's very important.
Yeah.
It feels pay to win. That's very important to us because we want to make sure that everyone feels like they have a chance
Right.
in this. So with that, we want to make sure that people have that capability of being able to enjoy the game on all levels. You really don't want me to win, do you?
No.
Excellent.
Christ.
Oh, wow.
I think you are, though. It's not going very well for me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man. This is very fun. Okay. I gotta pull out something here to try and stop you. This isn't going my way, people. So, it's definitely something that's extremely important to us to be able to offer that kind of implementation in the game where everyone has a chance to succeed. Very, very important to us.
Right. Someone asked about cross-platform play. Is that anything that's on the table?
Oh, that's already in there, absolutely. Once we have the mobile versions in place as well, those will be included. We want to make sure that you're playing the game on Android. Say you're at a cafe with your best friend or something like that.
Right.
You're playing Infinity Wars on your tablet. Absolutely. You'll be able to be playing against someone halfway across the world. Absolutely, that's very important to us.
All right. So if you buy a card on your PC version, can you then log in on your Android and have the same card?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that's sweet.
All of your collections and everything are stored via your account, not via device.
Right.
So, you do something on your tablet, you buy a booster pack, you win something from a quest, whatever the case may be, and then you go home, you log on your computer, everything's still there.
Right.
Later down the road, I'm sure people are familiar with the games known as Words With or Words with Friends, made by Zynga. Uh, Later down the road, not immediately, we do want to implement asynchronous turn play,
Right.
and that's
Right.
going to be, I make a move on my computer, flick it off, go out somewhere, and you know, uh, by that time, my friend has made a move,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I get a push notification on my phone that he's made that move, so I'm going to now. Uh, Open it up on my phone, make the next move, flick it off, come back home, make the next move on my computer, so on and so forth. Very important that we have that kind of capability moving forward.
All right. Let's see if I lose this turn. It feels like I will.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure I'm
okay,
dead.
yeah, you only had a. Yeah,
Yeah. I have nothing on the field anymore. Christ.
well, your Iberian will stay simply because of the way turns move forward. Your Iberian will go out to your assault zone first,
Right.
and then my assassinate will go off.
All right. Something that's quite interesting about this, that I've noticed by playing it, is that the turns, you take your turns at the same time and then they kind of happen simultaneously.
Yeah, exactly. Simultaneous turn play is what's going to make this digital product so successful. Um, let's go through the turn phase. So there's two things that influence this. One is the turn order, as well as something we developed called initiative. Initiative, if you notice during the match at some point, one of our names was green,
Yeah.
and that player has initiative.
All right.
Initiative means that if I have initiative and I play a spell that say kills one of your creatures
Right.
before you're able to buff that creature, my kill spell will go off before your buff.
Right. Okay.
Okay? So say you have a 3/3 creature
Yeah.
and I play Winds of War, which is deal 3 damage to all deployed characters.
Right.
And you have a Sage 1 as a commander, which, as I demonstrated earlier, his ability is to buff or heal everything that is on the battlefield by 2.
Yeah.
So if you have initiative, you would buff your creature by 2, and my Winds of War would leave it at 2 health, and it would survive.
Right.
Because if I have initiative, then Winds of War would go off before your Sage 1, killing your creature. Then your Sage 1 would buff everything left on your field by 2.
Right. So there is a turn order, but you still take your turns at the same time.
Yeah,
Kind of.
there is
Yeah.
an order of play. So anything changing zones, whether that be hand to the field, support to assault, assault to defense, anything of that kind, that happens first.
All right. Makes sense.
Then spells and abilities go off, and obviously initiative affects that, which is something I wanted to demonstrate that last turn with your Iberian being moved to the support zone, or
Right.
from the support zone to the assault zone.
Right.
Iberian's ability, he is the leader of the Flame Dawn faction. No matter what, as long as he is in the assault zone, he is invincible. He is impervious to all forms of damage and death.
Right.
The caveat to this is that he is very, very weak. He is 4/4. So for people who are familiar with TCGs, 4/4 is really not too much. So you yourself are very familiar with a card known as Exhaust.
Yeah.
So if I play Exhaust on a Barian, that will move him back to the support zone
Right.
where he's vulnerable. If I had done that before playing my Assassinate, your Barian would have died. He
Right.
would have
Right.
support zone and then been assassinated. If I do it the other way around, play Assassinate and then Exhaust, he would simply be back in the support zone with nothing happening to him whatsoever. But he is not invincible while in the support zone. So if I play Exhaust and then Assassinate, he would die. So there is
Right.
absolutely an order to the way the turn is played, but the way Infinity Wars plays its simultaneous turns is basically like playing a physical TCG with a cardboard box between the two games.
Yeah.
You play out your move, you do whatever you wish to, then lift the cardboard box and see what happened and play out the battle phase.
Right.
That's basically the way Infinity Wars is. You obviously can't see each other. So
Yeah.
it's a bluff game, big
Right.
bluff prediction mechanics. It's a TCG with chess elements. So you have no idea what your opponent's going to do, and you can't see it before it happens. It's up to you whether or not you can guess what your opponent is going to do correctly and know how to counter it with your cards.
Right.
And whether that counter is, you know, let's say I know my opponent is going to play a Mass Death this turn. Mass Death is a Cult of Varor spell that does exactly what it sounds like. Kills everything on the battlefield. So I know he's going to play a Mass Death this turn because he moved everything off of his battlefield the prior turn.
Right.
That a telltale sign in Infinity Wars, especially for some of our beta testers, strategically savvy. They move everything back from their battlefield to the support zone. So I'm like, okay, he's going to play Mass Death. So that same turn, I simply move everything back from my battlefield to my support zone. He
Right.
plays Mass Death, nothing happens. He just wasted his card, his turn, and his resources.
Right. But then because he knows that
Dodging that.
that moving his creatures back is a tell that he's gonna use it, he could just be faking. He could just be bluffing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bluff and prediction. Big part of Infinity Wars.
Right.
And that's why we have so many mechanics and abilities that lend themselves to the bluff and prediction mechanics of the game because it's such a huge part of your strategy.
Right.
You can choose to ignore that if you want. But I promise you, once we get into the brackets, the leagues, and the tournament systems, it's going to be very important. It already is very important with some
Right.
of our top players. If you're not paying attention to their tells, if you're not paying attention to, okay, they have 2 Cult of Varor commanders. He just moved everything back from his assault zone and put 3 weak creatures in his defense zone. That tells
Yeah.
me those defense creatures are cannon fodder.
Right.
And he's really not concerned with them. So he's still going to play Mass Death. But at the same time, he could be bluffing. I could simply be guessing and wasting my move, and he's doing something else with his turn that
Right.
completely messes with me.
Yeah.
He moving his creatures back to the support zone, and then the next turn when I think he's going to play Mass Death, he actually floods his assault zone and
Right.
ruins my health bar.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of the game to be able to bluff and predict correctly, and that's going to be what dictates successful players at the very top of the tournament brackets.
All right.
Big game.
Yeah. It seems like there's some real strategical depth at least.
Yeah.
Should we throw up another game maybe?
What was that?
Should we throw up another game maybe?
Yeah, absolutely, if you'd like. Let me switch to another deck here.
Sure.
Something that shows off another portion of the strategies. A lot of people are familiar with ramping strategies. So this
Right.
shows off capabilities of the command zone, something
Okay.
I haven't really touched on yet. With our prior conversation, we touched on commanders being one of 2 things. They play an integral role in the creation of a deck, as cards in the game of Infinity Wars have a stat called Purity. So, say a card like we've been touching on with Mass Death. Mass Death is a Cult of Varor spell that has 2 Purity. 2 Purity to the Cult of Varor, which
Right.
means you must have 2 commanders from the Cult of Varor faction in your deck in order to also add Mass Death to your deck. If you do have two commanders of that faction, you cannot have that card in your deck.
Right, so that's the mechanic that regulates like your multicoloring or multi-faction decks.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are familiar with it, but there wasn't something that actually restricted what you're able to place in the deck.
Right.
Just being smart and making sure that you had enough lands to support that card or that
Yeah.
strategy. Not necessary with Infinity Wars because of the resource system. With that same concept, we also get rid of the whole mana starving, mana drought
Right.
mechanic. Not possible with Infinity Wars. You gain a base resource each turn, with cards able to influence how much you have, and being able to pay resources to get more resources. So,
Right. Yeah.
completely ruins that mechanic. But that's what the commanders are there for, is that purity function.
Right.
But this deck is going to showcase how the commanders can actually affect your overall strategy of the deck and what you're able to do with gameplay. So
Right.
I'm going to host up a game for you. Feel free to join.
All right.
All right. So you can see my three commanders: Defense Golem, Secluded Constructor, and Balanced Warrior.
Yeah.
And I'll show you by turn 4 exactly why I have that command base.
Okay. I'm scared now.
It's something that a lot of MTG players will be very, very familiar with.
Right.
Something that showcases why the command zone is something that all players in Infinity Wars should be looking at.
Right.
And one thing that hasn't been touched on yet for a lot of people in this stream, you see the battlefield for what it is right now. There are plenty of cards in game that we call locations. They are faction specific. There's Untapped Wilderness, Hellmouth, Dragon Project, things like that. They very much so change the dynamic of the battlefield. So it's a 3D animated transformation of the battlefield so that you're able to actually make the battlefield look like what your deck's theme is.
Oh, okay.
And most of the locations are very powerful, especially Hellmouth. It's a Cult of Varor location, 5-cost location.
Right.
You 6 resources to create 2 3/3 flying demons.
Huh. Okay.
Very powerful location. It used to be overpowered before we nerfed it. It used to be you pay 6 to create 1 8/8 flying demon. That proved itself to be a little too much.
Right.
So you can see I already have my Secluded Constructor out on the field. And I'm not able to do anything by turn 2, so I'm simply going to leave that there.
Right.
And my turn and let you do whatever you're going to do.
Huh. I just got a location actually, speaking of them.
Was it Pyre?
Pyre, yeah. Fortress of the Flame Dawn.
Yep, and that is included in what I was saying.
Yeah.
It does change the animation of your field rather dramatically, and it's able to be seen on both sides. So
Alright.
for you, obviously, it would be shown on your side. For me, it would be shown on the opposite side.
Right. That makes sense.
That's a very interesting location that a lot of people are using with various strategic uses right now. There's a card in game called Demon of Gluttony. It used to be that you'd be able to sacrifice one of the tokens from Pyre to Demon of Gluttony, and Demon of Gluttony's ability is when you sacrifice any card to him, he gains 4/4 and can attack that turn. He can't attack unless you.
Right.
So you pay 2 to create that Flame Dawn Aspirant token from Pyre.
Right.
Sacrifice to Demon of Gluttony, and he'll gain 4/4 and be able to attack. A very useful mechanic.
Alright.
So this is simply going to move my commander, Balanced Warrior, from my command zone to my support zone, and do absolutely nothing with him right now.
Okay. And I'm just hacking away at your fort.
It's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So here's where the overall strategy of this deck comes into play. I'm going to move Balanced Warrior out to my defense zone just because I don't like your aspirants.
Right.
I'm then going to play Defense Golem and utilize Secluded Constructor to sacrifice my Artificial Golem excuse the motorcycle that just
Jeez.
rolled.
Right.
Uh, where was I? Sacrificing the artificial golem to my balanced warrior using secluded constructor, and then end my turn, and you'll see the result
Right.
momentarily.
So the balanced warrior will get a lot of health, and its power
Correct.
is equal to its health, so it'll be really strong. Right.
You sacrifice a 0/10 to balanced warrior, where balanced warrior's attack is always, regardless of effect, equal to his health.
Right.
Which means balanced warrior is now 14/14 by turn.
Jeez. You're just gonna. All my guys are just gonna die now. God damn it.
And here's
Um.
going to be the fun part of this deck. This is how I built this deck. I have another defense golem in
Oh
my hand.
God.
We'll just sacrifice defense golem to balanced warrior and move him over to the assault zone.
Right.
And I have a 13/13 in my assault zone, and he has no defenders. Of course, as I said, MTG players will be very familiar with this strategy. The only caveat to this strategy is that I have absolutely no defense in order to protect my balanced warrior.
Right. You'll
There is
see what happens next turn, I hope. I do have
sass.
initiative, so let's see if
Yeah,
this works like
yeah.
I think it should.
If you have exhaust, stumble, anything like that,
Yeah.
it completely ruined my strategy.
There you go. So you just. Yeah, so you just sacrificed your guy for nothing, I guess.
Exactly.
Right, right.
So that's the fun there.
Try one
Now,
of
what
these locations.
we did
Yo!
make
Nice.
exactly. One thing we did make sure that we kept with Infinity Wars is the fact that you can't necessarily keep track of this with Magic. Say you buff something with Magic and it's returned to their hand,
Yeah.
you have the tendency to forget whether or not that creature was buffed. So
In Magic, they just go away.
exactly, that's why they made that rule.
Yeah.
In Magic, as soon as you buff something and it leaves the field, it's no longer buffed.
Yeah.
Simply because of the fact that it is absolutely impossible to keep track of that.
Yeah.
With Infinity Wars, and we are considering changing this as of right now, when you buff a card and it goes back to your hand, it retains those buffs.
Oh, okay. That seems
So
really strong.
Yeah, it is.
It's
And
like return to your hand is at least in Magic it used to be like a counter to like really highly buffed
absolutely.
things that kind of took a while to gain their buffs.
That's. Oh, see, there we go.
Right, so you could just play your 14/14 again, Jesus.
Yeah, and you can see everyone in the stream exactly what happened to his side of the battlefield when he played Pyre.
Yeah.
Rather drastic transformation.
How do I activate a card power? Do I just click the card or?
Yeah, simply click on Pyre and then activate.
Oh, right. I just don't have enough resources, I guess.
Yeah, not a problem.
That makes sense.
So, I'm actually for everyone in the stream, I am actually worried by that location. He's going to have defense fodder for the rest of the game. That doesn't comfort me here.
Right.
Considering I'm at 28, simply trying to build up my ramping strategy. Why not? We'll start hitting your morale since you're going to enjoy playing this strategy for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, I don't think we've touched on morale. What is that exactly?
So morale is Infinity Wars attrition to games that last forever. Basically what it is whenever, and you can see him losing morale slowly, whenever you have a card that is killed in any way, if the card is deployed, which means support, defense, or assault, you will lose morale equal to the resource cost of that card. So all those aspirants that have been killed, I've now, it seems, killed a total of 9 of them.
Right.
I killed something that cost you 3 resources earlier on. So he's now down to 41 morale simply by early game combat.
Right. A couple of people are asking if can you only buy full decks or can you buy individual cards as well? And
Yeah.
how deep does the customization go?
Yeah, absolutely. This is something we really didn't like about MTG Online. It was unfortunate that you couldn't create your own deck. You couldn't customize anything.
Yeah.
You can absolutely purchase your own starter deck in the game. You purchase normal booster packs, which are very cheap, that come with 3 cards each, 1 uncommon, 2 commons, with the possibility of pulling up to an epic. You can also purchase a super booster pack, which is 15 cards, 1 rare, 3 uncommons, and 11 commons, with the possibilities of pulling legendaries, epics, rares, everything like that, which happens quite commonly. And with so few cards in the game right now,
Right.
it actually is something very common where people get a legendary and 2 epics in their pack.
Right. Hang on. When you say purchase, the question that came up is, do you mean with money? Like,
it doesn't matter what you purchase it with. You can purchase super booster packs with Infinity points or Lightmare points. Infinity points is the game, or is the in-game currency that you accrue by competing,
Right.
grinding, questing, anything like that. Lightmare points is what you purchase with real money. So
Right.
you purchase a super booster pack or starter decks with either. It doesn't matter.
Nice.
Trying to get rid of your flyer. It's not fair that you keep leaving him in the support zone.
Yeah, speaking of the in-game currency, how much do you need to grind? Like, is it gonna be like several hours or like several days of grinding to get a simple booster pack, or what's the rate of the money or the in-game currency?
Sure. So at the end of this match, I'll show you exactly what the match got in terms of what he's actually receiving.
Right.
Because each match earns you a certain amount of Infinity points and experience. In order to grind out a super booster pack costs 5,250 Infinity points.
Right.
You are able to grind a total of 1,050 Infinity points each day. And that's only the cap as far as competition goes.
Okay.
So that's excluding the Infinity points gained from campaigns and quests and everything like that. In terms of brackets and tournaments, you can still gain everything from those. So the cap is exclusive only for competition.
Right.
Obviously, that means you would have to grind 5 days worth of a cap only if you're not doing anything else, which there's plenty else to do, in order to get a single super booster pack, which again is 15 cards. There's no limit on trading. There's no limit on the auction house. There's campaigns, quests, tournaments, everything to be a part of in order to continue to gain as many cards as possible. So at no point are you really limited by anything, but there is that cap in place.
Okay. Let's hope this works. God damn it.
I'm scared.
I don't know what I'm doing. So players can sell and trade cards between each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, this is something that we've unfortunately seen far too often with other games. Is the economy itself does not lend to a successful game.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because they are calling themselves a trading card game. You can't be a trading card game if people can't trade.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. So, good lord. Got enough flame down aspirants?
I just wish I had my commander left so I could get him some more damage. They're all just gonna die now and I'm gonna run out of morale. Everything's terrible. Jesus.
And at the same time, I had to sacrifice my entire arsenal to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, not even have a balanced warrior left. This is not cool. Oh, let's see. Got something going on at some point here. Uh, not fair. My pilgrimage monk. Okay.
Wait.
So, uh, basically, the point moving forward with Infinity Wars is we want to make sure that we are able to implement these systems as quickly as possible,
Right.
so that we can make sure everyone has the capability of enjoying this game, as early as possible.
Hmm.
Um, getting it out to mobile devices, making sure people can enjoy it on their tablet, their phone, what have you.
Right. Someone asked how many cards there are in the game right now.
As of right now, there's about 130 cards currently implemented.
All right.
We'll be releasing new cards every week. Uh, we'll be releasing new core sets approximately every 3 months, and that's just for the purpose of keeping everything interesting.
Right.
And of course, well, one of our current desires for the game is to have a podcast each week. We
Okay.
want to that podcast focuses on actually being able to talk about the cards that we're going to release, because there's going to be a lot of them. So we
Okay.
want to make sure that everyone's aware of what we're doing.
So how much time are you like, or not really time? How are you making sure this is all gonna be balanced? Like how much testing and
Oh,
like
testing on constantly, literally constantly. It's something that we want to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. We always want to make sure that people have a say on what's going on.
right.
We want to introduce concepts to the community. We want to have some votes. We want to have some input. We want to make sure people are aware of our directions moving forward. Make sure people know what we want to do, and if they
Hmm.
have something to say about it, that we have the capability of listening to them.
Right.
Very important to us. One of these days, I'm going to be able to get past your little cannon fodder here.
I think I'm gonna lose by running out of morale here.
Yeah, he might lose to morale because he's throwing tokens at me, and tokens cost 1 morale each when they die.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to pull something out here. He can defend all he wants, and he's gonna lose to morale, but I don't know. And that's kind of the point of putting morale in there. It's an attrition to games,
Yeah.
take forever. Um, like I said earlier, when you lose a card by combat or spell, as long as they're deployed, you lose an amount of resources equal to that card's cost
Right.
on morale. I explained that terribly, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
in there for the sole point of making sure that games don't drag on for an hour.
Yeah.
And there
Um.
he did just lose to morale.
Yeah.
There are plenty of decks in the game. I want to make sure this is a point because a lot of TCGs unfortunately only focus on health. There are cards in the game. The factions right now that affect them are Cult of Varor and Descendants of the Dragon. There are plenty of cards that solely affect morale. They do not do anything to the health. They are not in the game to affect health.
All right.
There are combinations in the game that are currently called morale bombs. With
Ah.
all of your aspirants on the field,
Yeah.
if I had one of the morale bombs active, I could have easily dealt 50 morale in one shot
Right.
if you weren't prepared for it.
Right.
And morale bomb is basically a combination of either Sage 3 or Sage 3 spell and some kind of mass death, whether it be the actual Cult of Varor spell mass death,
Right.
or it could simply be a card I said earlier, Winds of War. Could be either. And if you want, go up to your store in the game
Sure.
and click on the Cult of Varor deck, Till Death Do Us Part. And you can purchase that with
Right.
uh, a very small portion of your 50,000 Lightmare points.
Just for the chat, the UI here is it isn't final. It's not gonna
Yeah,
look like this on release.
yeah. This is a placeholder UI, very temporary. It's just something put in to make sure that people have an easy time navigating the current beta phase. But there is a radical change to the UI going through within the next few weeks here. The design has already been finalized. We're finishing up on the functionality. It's very, very different. It is optimized for mobile devices, however, very easy to navigate on your computer or Mac. So it is a drastic change. A lot of new features going in. Avatars,
All right.
profiles, statistics, everything like that. It's going to be a very, very different look than what it is right now.
All right. Um, I don't know if it's just these two decks, but are there actually cards that deal direct damage and cards that heal you, or is there like a conscious decision not to have those cards?
Well, as far as healing goes, are you referring to creatures or your fortress?
No, healing your fortress or replenishing your morale or whatever.
Okay. So, in terms of morale, it is not our intention to have anything in the game that heals morale.
Okay.
Morale is either meant to be protected or going down. That
Okay.
is only intent of morale because again it is an attrition to games lasting forever, which is why we put in effects that will help you protect morale. We will not be able to heal it at any point, at least not right now. That's not our intention.
Okay.
But we are always open to interesting ways to implement that to make it exciting for the player base. As far as healing your health, there's nothing in the game for that right now, but this is a very, very early portion of the game.
Right.
We do have intents on putting that in the game with other core sets to implement them in fair and effective, exciting ways.
Okay. So morale is basically a system to make sure that the game doesn't take too long. Basically,
Yeah, exactly.
that
It's
that
a
there is a
win
better
condition
quick end to
to
it.
lend itself to multiple different strategies,
Right.
while at the same time being an attrition to games lasting, 40 minutes to an hour. Especially if you're on a mobile device,
Right.
no one wants a game that's just being turtled.
Right.
No
Right.
one wants a game that's just being trolled by the other person who's purposely just taking forever to drop down your morale. That's not fun.
Yeah.
While it might be an effective strategy, it's not a fun way to lose.
Right.
I hate saying that, there's never really a fun way to lose, but we want it to be understood.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that you say, okay, I lost to morale because this guy morale bombed me because I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing.
Right.
Or there was no way for me to stop that. I didn't have a counter spell at the time. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
Game, the fair play. I lost because you clearly read me correctly and had the right move at the right time.
Yeah. One of the worst ways to lose Magic, I think, is to play against a guy who's playing white and he's just massing health and you just run out
Yeah,
of cards because you just can't take him down. He ends the
yeah.
game with like 150 health.
No, that's absolutely true. It's not a fun way to lose, and like I said, I hate
Yeah.
saying that. It sounds weird, but it's absolutely true. No one likes losing to something that you can't control, something that you don't understand, something that's just viewed as not fair.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fun way to lose. So morale was put in there as an attrition to games lasting forever and as a secondary win condition.
Right.
Like I said, there are ways to drop morale down. Descendants of the Dragon has ways to do it. Cult of Varor has ways to do it. And when you combine the two, and you actually have the capability of pulling out the combination, and your opponent isn't looking, the morale bomb is currently, I believe, it's an 18% total win ratio for all of our players across the game
All
that are
right.
winning via that combination.
Okay.
So it
Um.
certainly is effective.
Right. You mentioned like counterspell, but are there actually like the equivalent of instants that you can cast during like when the turn is playing out as a reaction?
No, it's a trigger.
Right.
So say I play my counterspell,
Yeah.
and the basically the way the counterspell would work is the very next spell that is played is immediately countered and sent to the graveyard.
Ah.
Or let's say, and this is something we've thought about before as well. We create a version of counterspell that's slightly more expensive, but allows you to target a specific spell order.
Right.
So say I don't want to counter the first spell that's played, I want to counter the third spell that he plays
Right. Right.
because I know what combo he's about to play. So I don't
Mm.
care about the first two spells. His first two spells are all set up, but his third spell is the one that, I'm really worried about. So
Right.
I'm going to counter that one in his play order. So, that's cards that we're looking at further down the road. Neither of the counterspell cards are currently implemented in the game. We will be, as soon as
Right.
they're completed, coded, and have art and everything, they will be given out to all current beta testers by the time we get to early April.
Okay. Since we're on the subject of like types of cards, there was actually a question. Are there currently are they going to be the kind of cards that either take over, like mind control, takes over an opponent's card, or
Yes,
resurrects from either your or your opponent's graveyard?
both yes. Mind control is definitely a big portion of this kind of game. Uh, we have a faction. I'm not going to allude to any specific spells or names or anything like that. There is a faction that's going to be released with the next core set that it completely revolves around mind games.
Right.
And all they are is a bunch of magicians and wizards that like to mess with people.
All right.
So that's literally all they are there for is mind games, head games, messing with your opponent. Mind control is definitely going to be a big part of that.
All right.
We already have cards such as Resurrection, and for people who are familiar with the strategy, it's milling
Right.
from Magic the Gathering. We do have cards already like that in the game. They're
Right.
part of a faction called the Sleepers of Avarak.
All right.
There's really no better way to describe the Sleepers of Avarak than zombie robots, zombots. And that's it
All
sounds
right.
funny, but that is literally what they are. The For anyone who's not familiar with the Infinity Wars storyline, uh, basically there's a card in the game called the Calamity, and Infinity Wars is based off of that spell. And for that reason, what happened was when you play Infinity Wars, you will, well, after launch, when you play Infinity Wars, you will become acquainted with a woman known as Alita.
Right.
Alita is going to be your guide through Infinity Wars. She is an immortal. Uh, Basically, there was a bunch of magicians and wizards and necromancers from the cult of Varor that attempted to control magic and powers out of their control. And it created the Calamity, something that destroyed the old world.
Right. Okay.
Lita, this immortal, tried to stop this event. And in doing so, she unleashed a portion of that magic after the old world had been destroyed that started opening rifts to other dimensions.
Okay.
And the story is going to be explained in extreme depth once the game and the campaign is launched.
Right.
You're taken through this whole story through the tutorial. It's very in depth.
Okay.
And via this, if you've seen any of the other cards, there are currently 4 different versions of Alita the Immortal.
Okay.
And this is because these rifts that opened up to other dimensions, these are the same world that she lived in, the old world,
Right.
but via different dimensions, via different abilities that could have taken them on a whole slew of different paths.
All right.
For anyone who's familiar with the theory of deja vu, it's not necessarily something you've experienced before, but it's something that you could have experienced if you made a different decision in your life. And that's what
Right.
the worlds are.
Okay.
They are different versions of the same world taken down different paths. And that's why there's, all these different versions of Alita the Immortal. For Genesis Industries, Alita the Immortal Tinkerer. For the Warpath, Alita the Immortal Caretaker. Different Alita took via different decisions after the Calamity.
All right, all right.
That's what started the Infinity Wars, is all of these rifts opening between the dimensions. So
Right.
it's a big war. It's a lot of interesting things happening. But Avarak is one of the worlds.
Okay.
The sleepers of Avarak are a part of that world. They were humans. They existed peacefully until someone tried to create a nanobot virus, a good virus, that would cure all imperfections of humanity. How well has that gone for humanity in the past?
Right.
And this nanobot virus ended up taking over this creator's mind and body and turning him into the card that I don't know if you've had the chance to see yet. He's on our Indiegogo page. His name is Patient Zero.
Okay.
He was completely taken over by the nanobot virus, and these nanobots learn to replicate themselves and infest the rest of the world. And so we have this cyborg zombie virus
All right.
that's infecting the entire world of Avarak.
Right.
So we have the Zombot faction that everyone so affectionately calls them.
Right.
They completely deal with exactly what you would expect from the Black faction of MTG.
All right.
Resurrection, death, milling, everything like that. They're
Right.
very death and zombie like. It's kind of creepy sometimes. Some of the card art we've made sure that we've put into the game art according with that kind of mentality. Like if you look at our Indiegogo page, you'll see a card called Alita, Queen of the Damned. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is Alita the Immortal on the world of Avarak, affected by the nanobot virus.
Right. Okay.
It is really creepy. I don't like looking at her face because it's kind of scary. But that's exactly what the Sleepers of Avarak are for people. We've had so many requests for that kind of a faction. Death, resurrection, mind control.
Right.
All those things we wanted to make sure were incorporated in the game, especially the zombies. Everyone likes zombies for some reason with TCGs.
Yeah.
So the Sleepers of Avarak exist for that exact reason. They do not have a starter deck as of yet, because we're going to be releasing a large portion of the story and lore in according with them at launch.
Right.
Alita the Immortal is going to be taking you through a big story. The Sleepers of Avarak will be part of that story.
So there will be like a single player campaign with actually a story and.
Absolutely.
All right. Cool.
Through the whole world of Infinity Wars through this campaign.
Right. Cool. Yeah. Do you want to set up a final game maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm going to use is what we call the breeder deck. Really, takes a little bit to ramp up. This is another faction called the Warpath. I'm gonna host the game for you right now, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this a little more interesting for our last game.
All right.
Host a hyper mode game.
Okay.
50 health, 50 morale, 2 cards each turn, 2 resources each turn.
All right.
So itself to my deck, and unfortunately lends itself to the Flame Dawn deck as well.
Oh Jesus! I can't do anything. What is this?
Oh, you selected the Cult of Varor deck.
Yeah.
That's actually going to be very interesting because you do get 2 resources each turn. You'll be able to ramp up just like I'm going to.
Right. I couldn't do anything the first turn though, so I had to mulligan.
The Noble, which is going to give you 5 resources the next turn.
Yeah. I do like the art style. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the art is really fun, and one of the cool things that we're going to be doing, like I said earlier, with the tournaments and the brackets and everything like that, there will be secret art, promotional, amazing art for certain cards.
Right.
That's going to be rewards for just absolutely being awesome at playing the game.
All right. So how will the like the leagues and brackets work exactly?
So it's very, very influenced heavily by League of Legends. You know, the different bracket systems that they have in their rankings. You know, you compete to move up in the rankings. You compete to move up in the standing and everything like that.
All right.
Uh, as you fight for uh, ranking and everything like that, you're also going to be accruing tournament points, which allow you to be a part of our tournaments. You know, big national hosted tournaments via us.
Right.
So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to be a part of these.
All right.
That's what's going to earn people, you know, eventually a lot of money, as well as the prestige of being that kind of a tournament player. Because we do want to be able to rival what Magic does with its Grand Prix tour. We
Right.
want the same concept. We absolutely want the same concept.
Man, that location. That's cool.
I love the art for Untapped Wilderness. You can see the river moving, the leaves falling everywhere.
Yeah. Wow.
It's definitely a very artistic location. However, the one that your faction has is very apropos of the faction of Cult of Varor. It's Varoria the Lone Keep.
Okay.
It's part of the starter deck. I'm not sure if you're going to draw it, but
Hmm.
I absolutely love its art.
So these factions, I noticed right now there's only like one deck per faction, but will there be like when you introduce new core decks? Will they
Yes,
be for new factions, or will there be like
yes,
expansions for the existing factions?
both. Absolutely, we want that to be a part of the game
Right.
as soon as we possibly can. And this is where you're. Oh, good lord! There's Demon
What the
Glut.
hell are you doing?
You're going to see exactly why this deck is so
What the
annoying.
hell? How many things could you possibly make?
If you look at the first card in my support zone, Caretaker of the Young, this is
Right.
where Warpath's strategy really flourishes. This is the
Jesus.
breeding strategy. You simply activate Caretaker of the Young's ability with another untapped
Right.
beast on your side of the field, and it creates a 2/2 one of many.
Right. Okay.
Very, very effective.
Uh. Why not? Oh, wait, so you can't actually hurt things that are in the support zone?
Unless you have a card known as Fight, Winds of War,
Right, okay.
or cards like that, you otherwise absolutely can.
Right. I. Oh, wait, so. Ah, right, it's only on the battlefield, I see.
Yeah.
What about this one? Ah, so that should have worked then.
This turn, you're going to see exactly why the breeding strategy is so effective.
Jesus. Wait, you buffed them as well? Or.
With Pack Leader.
Ah, Christ almighty. This is ridiculous! Okay, again, unstoppable. Does that mean they're unblockable, or?
Unstoppable is the trample effect.
Ah, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, unstoppable basically means that it's either going to continue attacking until it dies or it hits a fortress, whichever one happens first.
Right. Oh, jeez. This is ridiculous.
That's why I love this deck sometimes. Like in hyper mode, this deck is just absolutely ridiculous.
I can tell.
Just for the fun of it.
No fun allowed.
There is now.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh god!
Ah, there goes Death Ray. Dang it.
Jesus.
Gotta love Death Ray.
Yeah. So if I had mass death or whatever, that would be really good right now, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
Christ.
Now, what's funny about that is you might be saying that because you actually do have Mass Death in your hand, and the people watching your stream are sitting there going, man, that guy's going to fall right into this guy's trap.
Nope. I have the weirdest luck. Yeah. I don't know why I'm drawing this card so much. I must have like 16 of them in the deck. Is there no
Which
limit to like how many you can have or anything?
it depends on the card. For the overwhelming majority of cards, they are limited to 3. There are certain cards that are unlimited. Each faction has an unlimited card. For yours, it's the Varor Death Worshipper.
Yeah, I
That's probably the card you're drawing a stupid amount of.
I have 6 of them on like it's crazy.
And that's actually very good. If you see Varor Death Worshipper's ability, if you were to play Mass Death or another Heat Wave or something like that, it would buff Varor Death Worshipper beyond reason.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with Cult of Varor. But you can see the problem that I'm facing here with the Warpath deck is they take a lot of time to ramp up, but they deal a lot of damage, but they're also very large creatures.
Right.
So as you can see, by the nature of this game, my morale is already very low.
Yeah. I'm getting my ass handed to me though. Jesus.
Yeah, but do you see what's happening to
Yeah,
your
oh wow, it's just it's just buffing up. Alright, that's cool.
There's the strategy right there.
Come on! I drew 2 more of them!
But you see what they're doing.
Yeah,
They're going to murder me.
Yeah. They're just getting stronger and stronger, yeah. They work really well against your mass units as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And I'm going to say fun for you because it's not fun for me.
What is that?
Skrar.
He's unstoppable. Jesus.
He's just big.
That beard is magnificent.
I know. Lord.
Oh god. It keeps on happening.
Oh, okay. I'm great with that. Let's continue moving forward with that.
What is this? Something good, please.
It's entertaining because this deck is really only effective in hyper. Like if this was a regular mode, this would have taken so much longer to do. But everyone, you can see the problem with this deck for anyone who's watching this stream. Look at my morale.
Yeah, you're running out real fast.
And that's
because so am I, but
each token costs 1 morale, regardless of token it is. So this is very detrimental to my cause here.
Right. Let's hope this works. I'm doing something strategical. Hopefully you actually attack me.
I think I'm scared. I'm pretty sure I'm scared.
No, it's I just don't know if it's gonna work, but I hope so. Oh god, more Skrar. Oh Jesus, so many things. So many things. Oh Christ.
Come on. That's not enough. I'm at 2 morale. Yeah. We both beat ourselves with morale.
Oh gee.
Oh,
wow.
morale.
Oh wow.
Excellent. Most excellent.
Wow.
That was definitely a match that I wanted to get on the stream. Good stuff. We morale drew, everybody.
Wow. So,
That was excellent.
is the game like technically only balanced for the standard mode, and these are kind of for fun, or will it like intentionally
Yeah,
be balanced for these as well?
definitely entertaining modes right now. They're just designed to be put in the game for the entertainment of the user.
Right,
Most of our brackets, leagues, and tournaments will only involve regular mode,
right.
but what we will have is user-hosted tournaments.
All right.
These are tournaments that anyone is able to make anytime. 8 seats, 3 rounds to determine a user. Go off and have your own fun with it. You can
Right.
select whether that's regular, hyper, or epic,
Hmm.
and you can select whether those are merged deck games or not.
Right.
So those are fun. Users can put up their own prizes. If they're larger tournaments, you'll be competing for more infinity points and perhaps some cards.
Right.
There's always entertainment to be had following launch. A lot of the features still aren't implemented yet, but once they are, there's a lot of fun to be had with those various modes because there'll be a lot more ways to utilize them.
Right. All right. Yeah. This game looks really interesting. I really enjoy it. Being a trading card game fan, it's really great so far. It's,
Yeah, and like I said, there's still so much to put in the game that
yeah. Yeah.
play itself is already entertaining,
Yeah.
but there's still so much more to be had with this game. It's not just about the TCG aspect. There's a story aspect. There's the trading aspect. There's the social aspect. Something that we wanted to make sure we kept intact with this kind of a game. The whole point of Infinity Wars is to make it feel as much like a physical TCG as possible, with the implementations and the capabilities of the digital age.
Right.
So, a lot
Yeah.
of games just focused on the digital portion, but all of us grew up with the physical counterparts.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very important to us to make sure that this kind of a game is as strategic as possible, as entertaining as possible, but as easy to learn as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds good. Uh, Someone asks if you can stake gamble with your own cards in duels.
Oh yeah, yeah. We definitely want to have that capability moving forward. It's not something that's implemented yet, but we do want to have that capability. Have a bet game. Say I know this guy has a card I'm looking for.
Right.
I also don't like him, and I know I'm gonna win. So I'm gonna put up something as bait
Right.
and try and get this card off of him because I don't feel like trading or buying for it.
Right.
So, that's going to happen. We recognize that,
Right.
but it's something that happens with the real card games. So
Yeah. Yeah. True.
why not? It's something that's in there. It's something people enjoy. So it's also good for friendly competition between, say an after-school club, so some
Right.
kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
group. Something like that. It's always fun between friends to be able to say, "I'm going to put up this card. Try and beat me."
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely something we originally intended to have. It's not going to be in the game immediately, but it will be in there at some point. Yes.
Right. Are you okay to take a few more questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can you look through other users' decks?
If they've listed them with the profiles that we'll have in game, they will have the option of making their collections or decks public. If they do have that selected, then you will be able to see in their profile what kind of decks they're using.
All
So,
right.
want to make sure people are aware of this is the kind of strategy that your opponent will likely use going into a tournament. So, you side deck certain cards to prepare for that strategy. Absolutely.
Right. Um, yes, price has been mentioned already. It will be free to play when it comes out. You
Yeah.
can buy it now for $25 for the lowest Indiegogo, right?
Yeah, it's $25 the bare minimum to be a part of the beta phase as it is currently. But keep in mind, for anyone wondering what that entails, we're not asking you to purchase beta access. By paying $25, you get $25 worth of Lightmare points. You also get a free starter deck as well as a free super booster pack.
Right.
Along with that, you get beta access. So, there's multiple levels above 25 that you get a whole bunch of rewards for. It's all based on what you want to do with beta access. For those who cannot contribute to Indiegogo at this time, coming early April, we will have our invitation beta, which is the next phase of our testing,
Right.
where anyone who goes to our website, infinitywarsgame.com, you'll be able to place your email address in a form at the top of the website, and we will send you information as soon as we move into the invitation beta.
Right. Makes sense. Uh, what about tutorials and stuff? Like, how will you teach new players the game? Is there going to be a good system for that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we're both using as a deterrent for bots, as well as something that's going to be able to acclimate players into the game on a very effective level. The tutorial is going to be very extensive. You will get cards during and at the end of it. So you're going to be taken through the story and world of Infinity Wars.
Right.
You're going to be guided at all aspects to make sure that you understand what's going on and you're learning everything. It's a very in-depth tutorial. The ones that are in place right now that our guy Kyle here might be playing at some point later on.
Mm.
Uh, they're not finished. These are very, very early tutorials.
All right.
So what they are right now is in development. Where we want to work on them. We're
Alright.
taking time to make sure that these are primed and polished, so that once they get launched into the game feature, that they are something that's going to be pleasing to the player base. But to answer the question, they are very in depth. And
Right, right.
they
So,
get you.
so even if you haven't played a TCG before, you could pick this game up?
Yeah, absolutely. There are two facets to learning Infinity Wars. For people who are already familiar with TCGs, you're going to be able to learn Infinity Wars right off the bat.
Alright.
It's going to feel very familiar.
Mm.
In terms of people who aren't familiar with this kind of a genre, simply go through the tutorial, and by the end of it, you'll understand exactly what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Can I throw money at the screen to make my card shiny?
we actually had that kind of a question before. And I want to reassure the people watching this stream right now that you will be able to, you'll be able to have that kind of prestige once we pass the launch.
You
Purchase.
reassure them that you can't throw money at the screen and it will have an effect.
Yes. You can have Lightmare points. You can purchase promotional card art, alternate card art. There's a lot of things that you can do to distinguish yourself and customize your own game outside of the regular rewards.
Right, right.
There's a lot of fun things that you can do.
And
Just set yourself apart.
can you buy hats for your cards? That's a really important question.
I'll see what I can do about that. I know that there was some odd occurrence on our Facebook page, facebook.com/infinitywarsgame,
Right.
where it was during Christmas. Somehow our cover photo miraculously had Santa hats on all of the pictures. It was really weird. I'm not sure what happened, but I thank whoever did it. So
That's wonderful.
can creatures have hats? Yes. I wish I knew how to emulate it.
Right. How about like real money for cards? The auction house, or what's it called, an auction house or trading house, whatever. Will it run off your in-game currency only?
There's going to be two facets to the auction house. You can either buy or sell cards via Lightmare points or other cards.
Right.
So if you want to sell a really rare card, let's say you're looking for a specific card and none of your friends have it. So you go to the auction house to find that card, but it's on sale for someone selling it for a stupid amount of Lightmare points.
Right.
So instead of trying to buy it with Lightmare points, which is real money currency, you can go in there and post the Calamity card, which is going to be a very
Right.
hot at launch. You just post that card up there, say I'm selling the Calamity for Skrar and Mass Death. Those are the two cards I want for Calamity. Someone comes along and purchases your card. or you can sell Calamity for Lightmare points. Either one.
Right.
But
So there won't be any like transference between Lightmare points and real money, like Diablo 3.
that is something we were looking at in the future. It is something that was talked about very, very early on
Right.
in the planning phases for Infinity Wars. So people who are merchants for games, we
Right.
recognize they exist. They're always going to exist. We don't want to discourage that. We want, basically our goal is to have daily activity on the game, regardless
Right.
of what you're actually doing on there. Do whatever you'd like. We want to encourage all facets of gameplay. Merchants obviously being one of them.
Right.
So at some point, yeah, there's going to be a way to convert Lightmare points to real money, and obviously these people accruing Lightmare points via the auction house,
Right.
good on you.
Uh, in that same vein, what about like botting? Since there will be a single player aspect, I assume that botting won't be terribly hard. And if you can buy cards like through playing single player, isn't that a worry?
It always has been, and we actually have been placing a number of preventative measures in the game to discourage bots from being able to get the most out of their games.
Right.
So, as of right now, the turn timer obviously was a big one. The second
Right.
one is a cooldown on the concede button.
Ah.
So obviously, people making bots for the game, uh, they, they're going to program the bot to concede the game, so that
Right.
they continue getting the minimum amount of IP.
Right.
Lose
Just
the
over and
match.
over again. Right.
But we kind of ripped World of Warcraft here, where if you join a dungeon and you automatically leave the dungeon because you don't like that place's face,
Right.
and it's going to be, you get a 30-minute deserter debuff, and you can't join another one for 30 minutes.
All right.
Uh, by the same token, if you hit the concede button before a certain phase in the game, then you're going to receive a cooldown, and that's
Right.
going to limit the capabilities of bots. Also, for people who are saying, well, why doesn't this person just make another account by themselves and play that match
Right.
against themselves? It's that easy. Oh, there's my beagle. Basically, see, we had that conversation earlier.
Yeah.
Basically, the point of that is you cannot earn infinity points by selecting your own opponent.
Right.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Well, now we're all alone. How very intimate. Hello, my dear friends. Yeah, feel free to ask any more questions. I'll ask about spectator mode and private tournaments. Ask about nude mods. No nude mods. I don't want to ask that. Don't know what the hell. Well, yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? God damn it, Lexi, I'll ask after it's off. I'll ask about Steam, sure. I don't know how much longer he has, but... Fuck off, Amdor. God damn it. What if he has me on speaker? Well, don't care.
Okay, and I'm back. So,
Hi.
to continue the point on bots, once we have the system in place, it's going to be that you cannot earn IP from selecting your own opponent.
Right.
So bots who are simply making accounts just to play themselves to earn the minimum amount of IP will not be able to do so. You have to be playing in the matchmaker system in order to earn IP.
Right.
So yeah, we've taken quite a bit of steps to prevent bots from profiting.
Right. But can you still, if you play like a duel against a friend or something, can you still like bet like IP?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can still, and that system isn't in place as of yet. But once the system is there, you can still do whatever you'd like with friends.
Right.
But in order to earn the IP from the game itself,
Right.
you must be utilizing the matchmaker system.
Right. So we could host our own tournaments and like have prize cards or like IP prizes and shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
That's definitely something we want to promote. Especially our beta testers here. Like the cards that will be in your personal account after your industry account.
Right.
Once we hit the cutoff for beta,
Yeah.
there's going to be all of these cards transition into platinum beta cards. Like I
Right.
said earlier, that will have
Yeah.
beta signifiers.
Right.
So collectors are going to go mad over that. So if you host a tournament and put one of your platinum beta cards up there, people are going to go, "Whoa, wait, where'd that card come from? I want that."
Right.
Even
Right.
though they may already have the card, it doesn't look like that.
Right.
So
Right.
so it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to see how people utilize the betting and profiting systems.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Another question about a spectator system or replay system. Is that
Replay is going to take a little longer. We do intend to have the replay system in place, much like StarCraft, as well as the spectator mode, like a League of Legends, as well as StarCraft. We've had an insane amount of requests for both of those very early on, so that's definitely something
right?
we intend to have in the game. Spectator first, since that's going to be the faster one to implement. Replays will definitely be implemented in the game later down the road.
Right. Okay. Someone asked if Infinity Wars will be on Steam.
We do have a Steam Greenlight campaign going on right now. If you'd like to spread it around as much as possible,
Right.
simply visit infinitywarsgame.com, our main website. On the left-hand side, you'll see a whole bunch of buttons that connect to where we are: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Indiegogo. There's a Steam Greenlight bottom at the bottom of that. Simply click on that to view our campaign, and please vote for us.
All right.
Help us spread the word about this product. A lot of people really aren't aware of what we're doing right now, and we're trying to get the word out there as much as possible, but we welcome any help. You guys have a connection to the community that
Right.
us as a business simply don't have.
Yeah.
So we absolutely welcome your help in spreading the word about Infinity Wars.
All
There's
right.
still so much we want to do. We have our Greenlight campaign. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We have all of the videos that our users make on YouTube. So there's definitely a lot of content going around.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Yeah. Like the video and please subscribe to us so I can make money as a YouTube content creator.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess let's wrap this up. Any like closing remarks or anything?
No, and the two main things that I really want to push out to the community as a whole, like I said, people really don't know about us yet. We're working hard to make sure people are aware of us. So please, by all means, spread us around as much as possible. We always want to field any questions. If anyone wants to ask us anything, simply talk to us on Facebook, talk to us on Twitter. If you want to ask something personal, send us an email to support@lightmare.com.au. We're always open to the community. You guys are very important to us.
All right.
So help us go around, help people know about what Infinity Wars is.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks a lot, James from Lightmare Studios.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing everyone.
Right. Yeah. I'll call it quits here then. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget to check out their website and everything. I'll throw the links in the description.
Sweet.